Hello everyone. Yes, Tom Rogers without a D. I'm the creative digital producer at Birmingham Ballet. Before that, I was a soloist with the company for 20 years. Retired during lockdown, the second lockdown, because I just went never again. And a bit like Ivan, I've sort of been given license to explore ideas and projects. I've been likened to a womble at work. Take that as a compliment or not, I don't know. But yes, I'm here today to talk about virtual stage. So this is the work that you saw earlier and was made possible by Bloomberg's Digital Accelerator program. So our program is basically a license to explore emerging technologies and how we integrate them into existing repertoire and programming. So you can imagine a large-scale ballet company to be experimental and be innovative. The opportunities are rare, they're few and far between. So to get a big grant like this and have the opportunity of the license is something that we had to take with two hands, really. So start with a bit of a why and a how. Why is a lot about Birmingham Royal Ballet, basically to engage and inspire audiences. So you may not know, but Birmingham is the youngest city in Europe. I think 40% of the population are under the age of 25. So this technology is technology that they're going to be growing up with. It's going to be in their everyday lives soon. So how do we create content with this and with them in mind to engage them in different ways away from main stage theatre productions? And obviously inspire audiences with creative content and try and bring it to them in new and exciting ways. And then to obviously advocate for the arts. I mean, this is a big one personal for me, really, as well as the organisation. But you know, the arts can change lives, and it's important that young people, more than ever, integrate with arts, particularly within educational settings. Partnerships, all of this work was made possible by partnerships. Again, being a large ballet company, a publicly funded ballet company, the opportunity to have meaningful partnerships, creative partnerships, is really difficult. And again, it doesn't come along very often. So the opportunity to work in partnerships on this content was invaluable to us, really. They brought expertise. You know, we didn't have a clue, basically, what we were doing. You know, we said, let's do this stuff. How do we do it? We needed them. They brought ideas to the table. So people that had no idea about how our world worked and what was involved in it. You know, what do they want to show? What do they find interesting running with that? Their reach, obviously, the sort of community of these companies and people who are engaging in the content, reaching out to them as well. And then passion, this is something that came along. You know, we all love what we're doing, we're all really into it, you get better results. So firstly, why do we do it? We're trying to explore educational resources. So some of the Nutcracker content you saw, the idea is that we build this together to create an educational package that can sit within schools' curriculums, can sit within GCSE and A-level context, but also we'd like to try and get that younger as well. We work with 2,000 young people a year in and around Birmingham, and how can we integrate that content into our existing educational programs? Commercial opportunities, so diversifying revenue streams for big arts organisations is more important than ever, particularly in Birmingham with the loss of, well, a bankrupt city council, basically. How do we diversify revenue incomes and explore ways to sort of increase commercial output? And then this one actually is sort of a personal one. I didn't touch on it earlier, but so we work a lot with Freefall Dance Company. They're our sister company. They're for artists with severe learning difficulties, mainly autism and Down syndrome. And actually we've created content directly with them in mind. One of BRB's ethoses is ballet everywhere, and I've taken that literally, quite literally. We work with special educational schools around Birmingham as well, so we've taken some of this content to them directly, and actually we've filmed work with Freefall, and it's an amazing opportunity to show Freefall to be the role models that they are, really. Partnerships, sorry, this is really quick, it's a lot of information. Partnerships, so the Swan Lake film was done directly in partnership with Canon Cameras. I looked at what they were doing to market their products, and it was rubbish. I mean, it is rubbish. And I said, look, you don't have good content, you've got equipment, come and work with this on the project, and write a white paper about it. And that's luckily what they did. So we used their R5C and the 180 dual fisheye lens to capture Swan Lake. But in that 6-month process, they also taught us how to use it ourselves. So now we have the in-house capability and knowledge to film 180 VR content in-house, which, as far as I know, no other ballet company in the world has that capability. So that partnership was just invaluable to us. The next one was Holosphere, so this was the motion capture company. I mean, I love motion capture and I just find it really exciting, and actually classical technique hasn't lended itself that well to motion capture. So whenever we tried it, it just tend to break. They don't like pirouettes and double tours, it turns out. So this is a company in King's Heath in Birmingham, and we've done a bit of work with them. So I think I've got a video. I think you've seen this already, but I'll show it to you. So yeah, this is our studio in Birmingham, and actually we're trying to come up with a portable version of this, and actually I'm pleased to say that this is going to be at Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery, and is responding to the artwork in the gallery in June, and we're going to have live choreography in front of some of this work as well. And we can also create a data set from this as well. You have no idea how long it took me to explain to our ballet staff what we were trying to do. It was unbelievable. But again, for a ballet company, that's quite, unique and actually forward-thinking. We have no idea where this is going to go, but actually just this partnership already is starting to bear fruit. The next one is River, so reality and virtual reality. So sort of Holosphere are your artistic, art directors. Reality and virtual reality, they specialise in virtual training exercises. So clients include MOD, NYPD, Interpol. They've just signed a contract with the UN to scan war graves in the Ukraine. They're specialists in photogrammetry. So they create fire training models, knife crime, domestic abuse, virtual reality training exercises, some quite big, heavy stuff. Luckily, the managing director's wife runs a ballet school, so quids in. Basically, big fan of the ballet, and I said, has anyone ever done this on a set? So here we are, this is the Birmingham Hippodrome. There's Act 1 of Nutcracker, looking glorious. And they took 3,500 photos and turned it into a virtual reality experience. Basically, you can walk around, and they scanned props and costumes as well that you can interact with. Some of you saw elements of that earlier as well. But the idea is that we build this into an educational tool and integrate 180 VR documentaries basically with stakeholders from the production, so set designers, costume, dancers, choreographers, and you can teleport around the theatre to meet stakeholders. We want to scan programmes and put them in there as well, so you can look at old programmes, rehearsal footage, performance footage, and this becomes an educational package. And going forward, we'd like to do this for every single production. Quick change room, in case anyone's interested. And then, yeah, stores as well. So you get to see a viewpoint and a snapshot that you would never normally have access to. Is that Scotty, the dog you love? Yeah. And actually, I was saying to a few people that this is also a 3D asset now, so when we come to redesign the set, we have a 3D model. So the augmented reality, so from that capture, we sort of said last Christmas, right, we've got some brilliant augmented reality props and costumes. So I came up with this idea called 12 Days of Nutcracker, excuse the pun. So this was a 12-day augmented reality treasure trail around Birmingham, and it was a 12-day countdown to opening night of Nutcracker, after which all 12 sites moved outside the Hippodrome Theatre so that the audience could scan and interact with the props and costumes. So all of them were within a 1-mile radius of the theatre, and there's just a few stats for you really. Not huge numbers, but what made me really happy is 4,000 scans of those QR codes, so that's about 350 a day across the 12 days. Unfortunately, because of our website, we can actually track those to track the journey to our website, but once they get to our website, we can't then track ticket purchases, which is a shame. It's just the nature of our website. But you'd like to think that out of that 4,000, there was a few new audience members who wouldn't have otherwise found us and perhaps wouldn't have otherwise bought a ticket. Here's just a little video. So every day we released a social post in partnership with one of the venue sites, and some of the sites said scans get a free coffee, 10% off a restaurant, off a bill, anything like that. So from a B2B perspective, it was amazing for us to work to build new partnerships, but also solidify some existing ones.
On the back of the tree, you can see graffiti from dancers and crew from over 30 years of shows.
And people have heard me say this before, but after doing Nutcracker every year of my professional career, I hate that music. It's proper PTSD. Black Sabbath Ballet, did anyone hear of it, see it? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. So one of our biggest successes ever, I think we crashed our website, we crashed the Hippodrome's website. We sold out in weeks, which is unheard of for a ballet. 60% of the audience were brand new to the Hippodrome, not just to ballet, but new to the Hippodrome, and the average rate is below 20%, so it's enormous numbers. And when we got on stage, there's Debbie the Devil, we call her Debbie, and we said, there's an opportunity here to scan this, and actually this is a potential commercial opportunity. So we're going on tour around Europe and in America next year, and the idea is that from this 3D model you're about to see, we're going to make replicas that can be sold as merchandise. So Black Sabbath are very excited about this because American Black Sabbath fans really like merchandise, apparently. So. If you're wondering, it's an actual car. It's not a model, it's an actual car. So we want to make augmented reality content to go outside the theatre, but also models for merchandise and promotional material. That's it. So this is my good friend Tom. I've had the pleasure of working with Freefall for 15 years, one of my favourite parts of my job. And he's quite blunt and to the point, so said, you made me smile and showed me something I've never seen before. Well done, Tom. It's exactly what you were supposed to do. I'm still the more talented Tom, though. And he's right. And in that, whatever technology we use and however we use it, we should be there to bring joy and spread some art to people. Thank you.